Greetings, Bentley and beyond. So, today's topic, no summer internship. What do? Well, the first thing you do is you don't panic. Because believe it or not, there are still some things that you can do, even now on June, almost the end of June, to get some experience on your resume before you get back to school. So let's get right to our top 5 tips for how to find a summer internship at this late date. The first thing is obviously keep looking. Believe it or not, employers are still looking for interns. A lot of students have this misperception that May, when they're getting out of school in May, that's where the summer begins and all of the internships magically go away. And actually, that is not the case at all. In fact, more internship postings come up after you leave school than when you are in school, because of the fact that employers don't realize that they have a need until it's really right upon them. Employers' summers are starting now, so there still might be some internship opportunities. So it's always a good idea to kind of pull out the internship or the employer list that you had, and maybe making a few quick phone calls to see if those employers still have opportunities, or maybe an internship offer fell through for them and they're scrambling at the last minute to find someone. So it's always a good idea to do some last minute scouting to see if there are some opportunities still out there for the taking. Along those lines, my second tip is to use social media. Employers obviously are using Twitter and LinkedIn at an amazing pace in terms of posting jobs and internships. It's really easy to identify job opportunities and internships on Twitter by downloading something like a TweetDeck or a Hootsuite, and you can create queries so that way anytime a post comes up that has your search terms in it, it flies right into the queue. So for example, you're interested in finding a PR internship, a sales internship, finance, whatever. You put together a query with those key terms in it, and then all of a sudden, magically, all of the opportunities that might be out there that employers are posting come into the queue, and you can go ahead and apply. Also, LinkedIn has a new search engine for internships. The link sadly is too long for me to say, but we will be posting it in the comments. But just know that LinkedIn does now have student job opportunities that they are posting and promoting. And at last look, I think there were 15,000 plus internship opportunities for marketing internships when I last looked. So there's an abundance of opportunities there as well. Okay, so you've kind of exhausted the traditional internship search process through the job postings and the direct outreach, and it still hasn't worked out for you. So what do you do next? So my next tip is to volunteer. Volunteerism, personally for me, has opened the door for every professional opportunity that I've ever had. The beauty of volunteerism is that you can put it on your resume. Nobody knows whether you're paid or unpaid. The experience can be almost the same in terms of the skills that you're developing. And it's just a matter of finding the right organization to volunteer with. So you might be saying, well, that sounds great, but who do I reach out to? So nonprofits, charitable organizations, small businesses, small employers are always in need of help. And they're not going to turn away someone who calls them and says, hey, I'm willing to help out a few hours a week if you'll have me. And I know this from firsthand experience, because when I was in college, I didn't have an internship. And I had internships for summers upon summers, but yet this one particular summer, I just couldn't find one. And so I wanted to go to law school. And so I started calling courthouses. I figured, what the heck, they probably are understaffed and need some help. And I called a local courthouse in my town, and I said, hey, I'd like to volunteer in your clerk's office. And they said, great. When can you start? And the beauty of volunteerism is you can call your own hours, so you don't need to do it 40 hours a week. So I did it like 10 hours a week. I did it a few mornings a week. And the long-term benefits were that not only was I developing my experience, which went on my resume, but I also was developing my professional network. I was putting myself in front of professionals that I ultimately wanted to know and be. And as a result of doing that, I met a lawyer who said, hey, what are you doing when you're not here? And I said, not much. And he said, well, would you like to work for me and I can pay you? And I mean, it was just the greatest summer ever because I got 2 phenomenal work experiences out of the summer through my volunteerism, and then I worked 20 hours a week for unpaid, and then that continued into the fall, and it just worked out beautifully. So volunteer, and if you don't get that like ultimate paid job out of it, then just do something else. You can volunteer again, a few hours in the morning, and then work a paid, non-internship type job on the hours that you're not volunteering. And again, you get 2 great experiences as a result. My 4th tip is join a professional association. Professional associations are gold mines, and they are like the best kept secret for students. And I can't tell you how many times I've told students to join professional associations, and then when they finally do it, they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this before? I'm like, exactly. So the reason you want to do this is because number 1, you can join a professional association today. Like you could go online, find one that's appropriate based on your functional role interest, industry interests, major, what have you. It's relatively cheap because student memberships, they're dying for students to join, so it costs virtually nothing to join. It goes on your resume right away, and you can start taking advantage of that membership in terms of, hey, they post jobs for their members. You're a member, you get access to those jobs. You can start going to those events, which are great networking opportunities. And remember that volunteering tip I told you about 2 seconds ago? Well, you can volunteer for those professional associations. Let them know that you're willing to help out during events, during professional development, educational classes that they might be having. They love to have those extra set of hands. It gives you something to do. It gets you in front of, again, those professionals. It helps you develop your network. And it's an experience that can ultimately go on your resume if you're actually doing something for that professional association. So that actually could become a quote unquote internship experience or work experience. So consider joining professional associations. It could be a huge opportunity. And then my last tip is just work, just do something. It's so easy just to say, oh, I never got an internship, oh well, and just kind of sit around, at home or go to the beach, and those are all wonderful things. But you really need to do something. Whatever work you're doing is going to develop great soft skills. Your multitasking skills, communication skills, organizational skills, those are all skills that can be developed through waitstaff jobs, through lifeguarding opportunities, through retail jobs. All of those jobs are valuable and mean something. And believe it or not, when an employer is looking at it, they're not looking down on those experiences. In fact, a lot of employers have been in those shoes. They have done those jobs and understand the difficulty and the value of them. Everyone comes from somewhere. So, we all come from humble beginnings, and having those experiences on your resume can be very valuable and can help you bridge the gap to when you are able to get that next internship opportunity. So those are my top 5 tips for the last minute job search. So, don't panic at the disco. We've got lots to do. And I wish you all good luck and happy internship searching and working this summer.
We do have one question.
Oh, we do? We have a question? I'm excited.
How do I identify relevant professional organizations?
Great.
Just Google, or is there another resource?
Okay, so Google is obviously an excellent choice, but you should be specific in terms of the type of organization and the city or state, because there are national organizations and there are state organizations and then there are local ones. So just doing a quick Google search absolutely will get you there. There are also professional association directory sites that you can also access. Again, just Googling that professional association directory, and they'll pull up all of the various lists of organizations. But I will tell you that every major city will have professional associations. And again, even your local chamber of commerce will also have lists of those professional associations. So if you're coming from a more rural area and you're not really sure kind of who's around and what you can get engaged with, go to your local chamber of commerce, and chances are very good that they'll have those lists. And also your local library will probably have information on professional associations, but Google, you can't miss with that. And also LinkedIn. LinkedIn has professional groups, right? So you can join professional groups on LinkedIn, and they also can be geographically located. So joining groups on LinkedIn is also a great way to identify kind of the brick and mortar associations that you can join, or maybe those LinkedIn groups are having events or doing things locally, and you can get involved with them that way. So there you go. Awesome. Thanks for your question. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next month. So, bon voyage.